Uh, Hello and welcome back to the Final Flight podcast. Excuse my appearance, I look shocking, but I'm not due to get my hair cut until Friday, lads, so I do apologise. But it's the final week of the jumps, full stop. We had the UK jumps finale on Saturday, some really good racing, but this time it's over to the Irish to finish us off. Punchestown Festival. Rich, Joe, I'll come to you first, Joe, if you want, mate. The final week of the jump season. Are you looking forward to a cracking week?
Yeah, mate, it's been a blast, hasn't it? Like I say, the first one we've properly done as a podcast, all three. Couldn't think of the jockeys we'd get on and, involved in Greenall and Guerrero and stuff like that. It's been brilliant. So hopefully we can finish on a high, get the last few matches out the way, see who is the real kings and queens of Ireland, and then onto the flat.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think it's been a fantastic season all round, to be honest, and certainly one we won't forget. Rich, you'll obviously be buzzing that it's the final week of the jump season, even though you're deserting us on Thursday, which is a shock to the system. He's waited all this time for the flat, and he's just dropped a bombshell that you're not even going to be on the show on Thursday. So what's all that about?
I've double booked, Anna. Well, I mean, I'll still be on the show. I'll still do some videos for you. You can put me on in spirit. But yeah, no, it's been a good season. Been a flat man. I'm looking forward to it all kicking off. So yeah, let's get it out of the way. Let's move on. Come on, let's go.
Well, like I said over on the last Thursday, we're gonna review tonight the first 3 days of the Punchestown Festival, sort of the main races, sort of fly through them, give us a little bit of a chinwag about it, and just see how we get on. Obviously, we've got decks for the first 2 days. We haven't got decks for the third day, but there's only a couple of races we're going to talk about, really, the main race of that day. And then Thursday night, we'll return for the last couple of days, and obviously the big flat kickoff, and it'll be the Guineas weekend over at Newmarket. Don't know why you're nodding, Rich, because your opinion's not even turning up on Thursday. So yeah, it'd be like Joe. But I said to Joe, it'd be like the good old days back in the original OGs
and the original days where I'm sat on the bed and my monitors go like this.
I can't wait for that, man. I think on Thursday should actually just do that anyway. I've also got one last thing for tonight as well. A little tribute. I had to get it out for the old boy Shishkin, who unfortunately is no longer with us, bless his heart, and he passed away the other night, which is a real shame. He obviously would have been running this week, but obviously just thoughts with all the connections with him and Nicky and the team and stuff. It was a really sad bit of news to come out. But yeah, a warrior of the sport and a legend, and he'll be remembered for a very, very long time, won't he, lads?
Yeah, especially that Clarence House run. Wow, what a match that was. It was, to me, I was thinking the other day, it's one of them races where you can remember where you were watching it. Like, do you remember that race? Shishkin versus Energamine. It was literally English versus Irish, wasn't it? It was everything Mullins versus, Nicky, and wow, some memories.
Certainly was, mate. It'll be sorely missed. Some real class memories. But yeah, rest in peace, my lad. Right then, let's get stuck straight into the action for day one of the Punchestown Festival, and we're going to kick it off with the 340, which is the champion novice hurdle. Obviously, there's plenty of the supreme novice hurdle form from Cheltenham coming back into this, with a few reopposing each other. Slade Steele, obviously the supreme novice hurdle winner, with Ryan Blackmore. I said Ryan Blackmore then. See, I'm already thinking about the flat, Rich. Ryan, yeah, anyway, Rachel Blackmore's on board. Mystical Power comes in after the impressive winner entry. Mark Walsh, Tully Hill's back in here with Townend on board. Firefox, Asian Master, and sort of bigger the rest. Rich, what are you thinking for this then? Do you think Slade Steele will be uphold that supreme form? What do you think?
Yes. I mean, I've read somewhere they're due between 10 and 30 millimetres of rain, so it depends how much rain they get, I think, for me. But for me, Slade Steele, I think, probably does hold the form. I mean, Mystical Power obviously finished second to him at Cheltenham, and then obviously won at Aintree. Comes here off an 18-day break. Is that going to be an issue? Maybe. I don't really know. But yeah, Slade Steele, if he just gets soft, I think he just outstays him. I mean, Mystical Power has got the speed, but like you say, he comes here fresher. I mean, Mystical Power got beat by 1.5 lengths. I think he's pretty solid, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I had a decent look at this race. I do think that I don't really see Mystical Power reversing that form with Slade Steele. I was on Slade Steele for the Supreme. Well, I was on him for whichever way Ballyburn didn't go, to be honest, but he was my captain in the end. But I thought it was a really good performance. I know it kind of looked like, Mystical Power obviously come up alongside him, but I just think Rachel, she didn't kind of panic. She kind of knew what she had under him. They popped over that last, and then once she kicked him on it, it went on well. I don't think the ground will be too much of an issue, like you say there. They had you a little bit of rain, or potentially a lot of rain, so it is one of them where we'll see what it gets. But I do think Slade Steele's the one to beat. The only one I had a kind of interest in is an each way price is Danny Mullins, who obviously now gets the ride in the Atlantic. I really like this horse for the Ballymore, or what were it called in the end? No, it was something else, wasn't it? What were it called?
Gallagher.
Yeah.
Gallagher, obviously, well, chuffing else 3 times. Ill Atlantic dropping back down in trip to 2 mile. If they get him going off the front, Danny, we know how good Danny Mullins. Don't be shaking your head, Rich.
Just let him go. He's not good enough.
Just let him go, honestly. Right? Dropping back in trip is an electric jumper. Danny Mullins gets the ride. He loves the front running riders, Danny Mullins. And I just think 18 to 1 is overpriced. He would be my each way play, but I do think Slade Steele will be hard to beat. But yeah, I'll be. He's obviously short enough. He's 13 to 8 favourite. I'm not going to be steaming in too much into that, but I'll have a little bet on him and a little bet each way on Ill Atlantique. Those will be my 2. And if it come up a little bit softer, I wouldn't mind that either. But I think the decent-ish ground won't be the mind them both, to be honest. Joe, which way are you siding with this one, mate?
To be fair, I can't get really away from Slade Steele. I mean, very impressive at Cheltenham. I heard Rachel say about the Ballyburn run. That was when she really thought this horse was something. Because obviously we know how good Ballyburn was, but it was the fact that Slade Steele pulled clear. I think was King of Kingsfield in third. And that was when you tipped him up for any race. He's obviously clearly, one of the best novices. That's why they dodged Ballyburn. Same for you. I can't see Mystical Power turning it round, albeit he won well at Aintree, but I wouldn't say he set the world alight to think he's going to really bounce back, especially 15-day turnarounds not short, and if the rain or however, I think it's 18 days or something, but if the weather does come, it is going to be not a slog, but it's going to be a test. I can't see Mystical Power. One I would be interested in, and he was very disappointing at Cheltenham, and normally I would never ever do this, but is Tully Hill. Now, he was very disappointing at Cheltenham, and if you go back to the the videos where ITV interview the jockeys when they come back in, Paul said that's not the same, or that's not the horse we thought. Very disappointing. Now, he won the race before he went to Cheltenham at Punchestown on heavy ground. He beat No Flies on him by 9 lengths. And the other time he'd been at Punchestown, he got beaten by A Dream to Share by 3 lengths, which isn't bad form at all. That was on the flat. You can sort of forget his maiden hurdle run at 2 miles 6. I have played him for a place earlier on in the week at 6 to 4. That was my bet, 6 to 4, Tully Hill top 3, because I think you could see Mystical Power not finishing the top 3. It is a hot race. I would stick with Slade Steele. I don't think you've got a bad shot there with Ill Atlantique, to be fair, but if I was picking a win bet, it would have to be Slade Steele.
Yeah, I think it is a pretty solid favourite, and like I say, we'll see how they get on, but it should be a nice race. It's nice to see them all turn up. And like you say, with Tully Hill there, always be wary of sort of writing off Willie Mullins' horses, especially at Punchestown. We know how much he loves it, so we'll see how he gets on in that race. Right, lads, we're going to move on then to the 4:15, which is a handicap hurdle. This is over 2 miles. And again, we've got these famous Donnelly colours. The Daddy Long Legs is in here now as favourite. Obviously had that pretty easy win the other week at Ludlow, about 1 to 10 on or whatever it was, silly price, but seemed to be a nice little pipe opener for this. Toto 2 for Cromwell. He's obviously in flying form. Rathgole Boy comes in here again for Mullins. Ballystock for Mullins is in here, and sort of Bigger the Rest. I swing around to you, Joe. Do we kind of just think it's a little bit too obvious for Danny Longlegs, or do we think that, he's going to be the one to beat? I mean, it looks like the one to beat, doesn't it?
I think he's the one to beat, to be honest. I think they've just completely threw him in here. 6 days from Ludlow. He didn't have a hard race, cantered round really. I feel like if I've looked at the race and I've tried to take him on, but every time I just feel like Willie's put him here for a reason. It's his handicap debut. He's run off 1:35. You can sort of forgive him for his 2 runs where it was a no-show. That day in Leopardstown where it was a complete bog. You had a few horses pull up and every horse was strung out. And then it was tough for him to go straight to the the Ballyburn race after that. But he's followed up at Ludlow. They clearly think he's miles better than 1:35. That's why they've put him in here. And they wouldn't have put him in here for any other reason. For me, you've got to back him. I've backed him at 4-1. I don't think it's a horrendous price. I know it's a big run of field, but I feel like it's one of them where it's a graded horse in a handicap, to be honest, or at least a listed horse.
Yeah, fair comments there. What do you think, Rich?
He's probably the best horse, but was it 6 days turnaround? I just can't. Is he turning it? What sort of? It was more like a public schooling session, wasn't it? That race.
Yeah.
Did it take too much out of him?
Travel involved and all that jazz. I just don't like it. So I'm not going to play him. I'm going for Jasco de Dams. Is it for de Bromhead?
I'm happy with that pronunciation. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rachel double for me. Makes handicap debuts. I can't remember what it was off. I don't tell me here. But yeah, makes handicap debut.
125.
Sorry?
125, 10 stone 8.
125. There you go. Makes handicap debut. The only reason I've kind of gone for him is he's got form behind. He beat Mercury, who's a horse that I know people mock him, but I think he's half decent. I mean, he finished 4th in the Gallagher at 40-1, so I think that's steady enough. I'm just going to give him a chance on handicap debut. You never know. So yeah, I think he's about 10s. I'll take that each way. 6 places.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Like I say, I mean, you might get some decent place terms tomorrow, depending on where you shop about. I just think with Daddy Longlegs, I mean, I probably would, if I'm going to have I'm going to side with him. I know it is a little bit obvious, but I am going to sort of wait till maybe like an hour before just to check on the ground. I mean, I know Mullins has mentioned that he won't want it too soft. If they got like a complete deluge of rain and it ended up soft or even towards chuffing heavy or something like that, I'd be a little bit more wary about backing him, and he may even go a little bit bigger. But I do think he looks the obvious one in here. And if it stays decent ground, I think he takes all the beating. The second favourite currently, Toto 2, he looks quite interesting. If the rain was to come, I think he'd be more suited to the softer conditions. But I just think at the current conditions as they are right now, I think Daddy Longlegs does take all the beating. So I'm more than happy than not to take him on in this race, to be honest. And I'll stick with Daddy Longlegs for this one as well. So yeah, I think he's going to take all the beating. Right. Next race we're going to cover then, lads. We're going to skip a race now and go to the 525, which is the Champion Chase Grade 1. Obviously, we've got none of the likes of El Fabio or anything like that. They all went against each other at Sandown. So we have the JP on Dino Blue is in here as favourite. Mark Walsh for Willie Mullins. Captain Guinness, the Cheltenham Champion Chase winner, 4-1. Banbridge comes in here. He won't want any rain if he's to run any sort of race. Gentleman to Me, Saint Sam, the Rogue, Dysert Dynamo's in here. Rich, I've been on him a couple of times. I'll be lucky if he gets round. And sort of Bigger the Rest. Joe, which way you siding here? It's kind of, we know major big guns. It's kind of made it a bit of a competitive race, I'd have thought. What do you think?
Yeah, sort of, mate. To be honest, I think Dino Blue's an absolute stonking, better be honest. 2-1, 15-8. I think Captain Guinness has never really backed up a run. Was obviously very fortunate to win that Champion Chase, and was only 1.5 length in front of Gentleman to Me. Both JP owned. it's pretty obvious Dino Blues beat them both, albeit not won the races. I think finished behind El Fabiolo with earlier on the season at Leopardstown, yet with Rachel Blackmore 6 lengths behind and Gentleman Demi 8 lengths behind. Has already beat Gentleman Demi before as well the season before. Banbridge, can you trust back at 2 mile? I know it's got some headgear on, but if any rain comes, that'll be a no-go. And then you're looking into St. Sam territory and Dysart Dynamo were mental. I just think Dino Blue won at this meeting last year. She was, I wouldn't say she was unlucky at Cheltenham. It was her first time up to that trip. It did hammer it down on that Friday. I wouldn't say she got outstayed, but she was carrying £5 extra than Limerick Lace. The money sort of come for Limerick Lace and never pretty evenly matched, but pulled away from Ren Marsh. I think she's a stonking better. You're back at 2.5 mile, getting weight, fit. Obviously, a nice break from Cheltenham. I think she's a massive bet, to be honest. She's my nap of the week.
Love it. I mean, I'll come to you, Rich, but I mean, I'm kind of siding towards exactly what Joe's just said. What about yourself?
She wins. There you go. She gets weight. She's beaten them all before. Banbridge, like you say, any one drop of rain, he won't run. Well, he might run, but he'll not go on it.
I don't think he'll run regardless. I think he's getting to that point now where they're just going to run him. But
I'm surprised she's not even as odds on, personally. So, yeah, take the odds while you can. She wins.
Yeah, I noticed she started getting money tonight on the exchanges. She was just over 3. I don't know what she is now, but I know the JP horse that we're going to cover in the next race has had money as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of them got backed in, to be honest.
You can currently get 15 to 8 best price, but I'm in agreement with you, lads. I think Dino Blue I think she is going to win this race. Captain Guinness, like you say, I mean, very, very rarely. I don't think it's ever won back-to-back races. So you're banking on him backing it up in a race where he was. I mean, you could say El Fabiolo obviously didn't perform last time. Would he performed at the Champion Chase? But at the same time, it was handed to him basically. Yeah, Banbridge I couldn't have anyway. I'm not really grown to him. Not been a fan of him. And if any rain does come, that's his race gone. And of the rest, it's just a case of I just think Dino Blue is going to be better than these. Dropping back to 2 mile. Ground should be no issue, and as long as Mark Walsh doesn't do anything stupid, I think she takes all the beating. So that's 3 for Dino Blue. Love it. Right, we'll move on then to the last race we're going to cover on the first day, and it's the 6 o'clock. This is a 3 mile 1 race, and it's the Champion Novices Chase, Grade 1. Now, Spillane's Tower, obviously for JP, has been sort of nibbled into favourite. Monty Star is in here for the De Bromhead team. Rachel Blackmore, Embassy Gardens, who was pretty shocking. You could say Paddy was a bit shocking on him at Cheltenham, but we won't get into that. American Mike, Sandor Clegane, and Sharjah, and 3-car Bragg, and Salvador Ziggy bring up the rear. Joe, you mentioned the JP horse. Take it away, mate. You on Spillane's Tower then?
Yeah, I think it's tough. Monty Star's definitely got the Spillane's Tower's not run over this trip, I don't believe. Furthest gone is 2 mile 4, was that? Against,
correct, yeah, stepping up.
Yeah. So stepping up again, but you don't normally see the money come for the JP's one that are wrong. I do like Monty Star though. I was all over him for the without the favourite or the reverse forecast with Factor File. Looking at that race, when at Cheltenham, Giovinco followed up in third. Monty Star's obviously sort of proved, I wouldn't say proven over the trip, but coming, what was it, 3.5 lengths behind Factor File, who the Mullins camp really, really talked up. Isn't a bad run at all, but you've got Spillane's Tower in here who's getting money, step up in trip, took well to the step up to the 2 mile 4 last time. Seemed like he ran over 2 mile 4 before. And then Embassy Gardens, like you said, James, for me, Patrick was shocking on him at Cheltenham. I'm not sure he would have closed the gap on Corbett's Cross, but I think Patrick was pretty awful on him. Current prices, you can get 3 places. If you're looking at the each-way market, it is a pretty poor each-way market. I'll probably go Monty Star, to be honest. You could see any amount of improvement from Spillane's Tower up in trip. Who was it against at Rocco? It went, I Know the Way You're Thinking. Was it I Know the Way You're Thinking? Went from handicaps into Great race. The money absolutely flew in, and he won pretty easy. You could see that from JP, but with the form ties with Factor File, I'm going to stick a Monty start 5-2. I wouldn't steam in because I don't know what the favourites like, but I'd have a sort of just a small bet at 5-2. I don't think it's a bad price now.
That's a fair comment, Rich. Are you heading towards JP, or are you going to go against?
No, tomorrow, Ron JP also back in his Dino Blue. In this, Monty Star, I think, brings the best form. 3.75 lengths behind Factor File and the Browns. American Mike was 5th, but he was like back in the car park, 40 lengths behind.
He really struggled with his jumping as well, did American Mike, didn't he, in the Cheltenham race? Really struggled.
He's beat three-card brag at Punchestown by 5.5 lengths, so that's another one ticked off. Finished third to Corbett's Cross by 3.25 lengths. Obviously, he then bolted up and beat Embassy Gardens by 17. He's just got the form in the book for my eyes. Spillane's Tower, he won last time out. It's a different kettle of fish, this sort of company. I just can't have him personally, even though the money is coming for him. I just think Monty Star's a solid option. Stays the trip, jumps fantastically. I think he'll be there or thereabouts. So
yeah. It's really one of them races. I mean, I am in agreement that I would. I mean, Spillane's Tower, in a way, could be a little bit of could be anything. Stepping up into this trip, but I wouldn't say the form is amazing. I mean, he's beaten horses like Firm Footings, Blood Destiny, beaten once, been beaten once, Tactical Move. It's not screaming, top level form. I wouldn't have thought. Obviously, Monty Star, that sort of second behind Factor File, you'd have to say is the best form out of these completely. Although you could sort of say, well, how much do you take that on face value? How well did Factor File win it? But I do like this horse's jumping. The way he jumped that day against three-card Bragg were electric. Although, it glided over every single one. This sort of trip will be ideal for him. So I'm sort of siding towards Monty Star, similar to you. The only thing that would worry me if any money come for Embassy Gardens with Paul Townend on, I thought the way that they were rode in that National Chase was just, I don't know, I weren't a fan of it at all. They were kind of, held up at the back. I don't know. Patrick Mullins just seems to ride him as if he's going to win easy, and then one mistake and it's gone. Do you know what I mean?
He done it the year before, didn't he?
You up?
He done it the year before with Gardner O'Neill. He was lucky.
Yeah, and even then he got away with it. Really, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying he'd got near Corbett's Cross because Corbett's Cross, absolutely bolted up, which is fair enough. But I just think with Paul Townend on this time round, would that change anything? Will they ride him a little bit different? Will they maybe set him off in front? Because one of the main things I did sort of mention when looking at Embassy Gardens for that National Chase was his jumping. His jumping up to that point had been fantastic, and if they could get him off the front, potentially, then he might have a good chance. But I'd take on Spillane's Tower, and I probably would just about side with Monty Star because I think he's got bags of potential, and I think his jumping's great. So that could be one for Rachel again. But if Embassy Gardens wins, I'll be absolutely sick, to be honest. But yeah, I'll stick with Monty Star myself. I don't think yet. I think the rest of them are much of a muchness. So yeah, that'll do me. Right, lads, that's day one of the Punchestown Festival done. Like I say, any sort of handicap. Have you got anything for the handicaps you want to mention, or should we just put them up on Twitter later on?
Tuesday.
Not bothered.
Nothing from the Tuesday now. I've got some other ones for the Wednesday, but yeah, nothing for Tuesday.
Right, we'll talk about them later on then. So we'll move on then to the Wednesday. And the bumper card at Pontefract kicks us off. No, I'm only joking. But we will be doing Pontefract on Twitter, so make sure you follow that. It was a tough one last time, although you had some good winners, Rich, so well done for them. But yeah, we'll be trying to get some more winners at Ponte. Can't beat a bit of Ponte. But anyway, so the day two Punchestown, we have the 4:15 p.m., which is another novice hurdle grade one, this time over 3 mile. And again, you've got some nice horses in here. Dancing City, it was my selection in the Albert Bartlett, come third, but then bolted up at Aintree. Stella Story, Rich, you had him for the Albert Bartlett, a massive price. That was a brilliant pick. Jack Kennedy on board. Better days ahead. Comes in here, Martin Pike winner, Lucky Watson, high class hero, and bigger the rest. Rich, you obviously had Stella Story for the Albert Bartlett. Are you backing him again here?
I am. I'm assuming Kennedy's going to be riding him.
Jack Kennedy is on board, yeah.
Good. Because obviously there's that battle between him and Paul for the jockey's title. So I assume Kennedy will be hoping this is one of his winners for the week. Yeah, I backed him for the Albert Bartlett. I just thought he was an out-and-out stayer. When I saw his second run, I think he finished second or third, but he was plodding along, and this is the sort of chip that I think he wants. Obviously, any rain will be a positive for him, so no worries there. Danton City was 7 lengths back in third for the Albert Bartlett. Like you said, he did win at Aintree, but it's only a 19-day gap. He's had the battle at Cheltenham. He's then man at Aintree. How much is that taken out of him? I'd rather back Stella Story off a 47-day break, I think. He's the one I'll be sticking with.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, obviously, we mentioned during the anti-post show and things like that, we always talked about horses backing up Cheltenham at Aintree and then Punchestown. And we do have quite a lot of the Cheltenham horses who went to Aintree this time around, especially the Mullins horses, obviously going for the UK title. I think he sent a lot more over to Aintree than we've normally had. So we've got a lot more in here at Punchestown that you might think would normally have come here a little bit fresher, but they're all coming here off backs of runs at Aintree. In particular, Dancing City, who I do really like. I suppose, again, the question mark is, do we sort of go against his own sort of way of thinking previously? Is everything sort of changing now? But, I mean, it was a bit of a facile victory, the 3-mile race at Aintree. Obviously, reversed the form with the jukebox man and things like that. How much has that taken out of the horse would be the big question. Stella Story obviously won the Albert Bartlett. I wouldn't have thought he'd want the ground to be too lively, so he'd want rain to come. Better days ahead, same. There's an interesting one in here. Emmett Mullins sends one in here after winning a 2-mile 3 bumper. He sends one here over 3 miles straight away. This back me, sack me. I don't even know how to say it. Back me or sack me or something like that. Anyway, it's something along the lines of that. But he's an interesting one. Come for a little bit of money. I'll probably have a quid each way on him. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Dancing City as much as this. It's kind of killing me to these quick turnarounds. But I just think the way Mullins is being at the moment, he's just got these horses into unbelievable condition. And I think he might be all right, Dancing City. And I think he can reverse that form with Stella Story, as he reversed the form with the jukebox man. So again,
we will see.
We shall see. I'll take you on, Rich, with the old Dancing City, and I'll stick to the Donnelly colours. I mean, well, obviously Paul Townend's on, so I'll happily stick with him. Joe, who are you thinking, mate?
Yeah, I am siding with Rich on this one. I was at Aintree there that day, and I just feel like, I wouldn't say the race set up for Dancing City, but the jukebox man had a pretty tough race at Cheltenham and then come here. He got a free lead on the front end at Cheltenham, and then he went to Aintree. Kintara and him, went hammer for tongue up front, and it was always going to set one up for a horse to come and just swallow them up. And Dancing City done it well, not knocking him at all. He done it easily, well easily. And I'd probably say it's the first time over that trip for a novice hurdle where we've thought, that was very impressive, because up to then, even at Cheltenham, you weren't sort of, it was well up in the air, that race. I feel like it is here, but Stella Story, just like Rich there, 47-day break, stayed on very nicely to beat the jukebox man, just got up. I mean, it was, you could say jukebox man was unlucky, missing the last, but he had to be there. Sam Ewan was on, and he pushed him to the line, and he won the race. Dancing City, obviously third. Dancing City's changed the form around now. Willie's in flying form, but I just can't get away from the fact Stella Story won at Cheltenham. He missed Aintree. He's coming here fresh. Jack Kennedy's on board now. I think it's going to be very tough to beat him, to be honest. And the rain that's coming, it looks like day 2 is going to be at least soft to heavy, which I think will suit Stella Story again. To be fair, tomorrow's hard enough to predict anyway, with 10 to 30 mil overnight. You don't have a clue what's going to happen the night after, do you? We could be waking up to a slog, or we could be waking up to a nice sunny day. You just don't know. But I am going to stick with Stella Story.
Yeah, it is tough with the weather. We don't really know what it's going to be like. But to be fair, I'm just looking through my notes. The only other one the one that did a little bit of piqued me a little bit interested. I will be having again. I mean, I'll put a couple of quid on, but a couple of quid each way. Antabar for Henry de Bromhead is very interesting here. He was obviously, all the rage previously. Oh, what was the race he were in? Oh, the Royal Bond. He were running the Royal Bond, didn't he? And everyone was, it was a big talking horse. But he's been running over 2 mile, 2 mile 4. Now steps up to 3 mile. He's a 3 mile pointer. He could be one at an each way price. He comes in here a lot fresher than the rest off 87 days. He was the only one where I was thinking that could be a little bit of an each way. I know I mentioned the Emmett Mullins one, but that's more of an interesting way. I mean, it's an interesting way of training, going from a 2.25 mile bumper straight into a grade 1 novice hurdle over 3 mile. But yeah, I'll stick with Dancing City as my main selection, but a little cheeky each way would be on Tabar, however you pronounce it. You could probably get about 50 to 1, I think. Again, it's a speculative couple of quid, don't be breaking the bank. But he's just interesting stepping up in trip. Right, lads. Yeah. Next one is gonna be we're gonna go for the 450. Obviously, it's all set up differently at Punchestown. It's great, but the bumper, the race and stay at Punchestown champion bumper flat race. You have the Cheltenham champion bumper winner in here, Jasmine DeVoe, with Patrick on board. Romeo Coolio's in here, a second favourite. William Money, the Barry Connell team, sort of bigger, the 10 to 1 bigger the rest. Redemption Days in here again. The old statement for bumpers, chuffing hell, as if he's still going in bumpers. Joe, do you like Jasmine DeVoe? You're taking her on?
I do like Jasmine DeVoe, but I do really like Romeo Coolio. I thought he ran so well at Cheltenham, on the day. I'm sure the week before he was about 4 to 1. And he drifted to 18 to 1 on the days if he couldn't be touched. And Jalon de Dairies got backed into 3 to 1 favourite. And Romeo Coolio, whether the money's come inside, outside the yard, someone somewhere was laying him for big money for him to just completely drift out 18 to 1. And he ran an unbelievable race. I mean, he was completely workmanlike at Fairyhouse the time before, first time out. And then he went straight into that Cheltenham bumper. And ran a very nice race. If you could get an each way price for him, I'd be backing him. He's about 4 to 1 now. William Money's an interesting one too. Opened up about 11 to 4, out of 9 to 2 already. But Barry Connell hasn't had a winner or many runners at all recently. He hasn't been flying as much as last year. I couldn't really touch William Money. Yeah, to be fair, I'd be hoping for Romeo Coolio to edge out bigger than 5 to 1, and I'd have a nice each way bet on him because I was definitely impressed with how he ran at Cheltenham for the prices.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, mate. I like that. Rich, it's obviously a nice, tasty little bumper race. What are you thinking?
I mean, Jasmine DeVoe brings the best form. Beat a lot of these. Reopposes Romeo Coolio again. I just think she wins. Well, he wins personally. The one I do like as like an each way sort of value is the Harbour Highway, JP's new recruit. I think
Emmett Mullins.
I think he's about 10, something like that. So yeah, interesting to see how he gets on. JP normally is a shrewd purchaser of these sort of horses. So Emmett Mullins, like you say, Derek O'Connor's on, and that's a good combination. I think good each way sort of price. But yeah, I think Jasmine DeVoe probably wins, and if Harbour Highway can feature in that, perfect.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Like I say, when JP makes a purchase, especially sort of Emmett Mullins, it's always an interesting one. You've got to keep an eye on those. I actually did like William Money for this for a long time, but the form, if I'm honest with you, has been rubbish, basically.
Yeah.
We're back to obviously, I've tipped up Saint Desans for the Cheltenham Gold Cup, Cheltenham champion bumper, and didn't really, obviously second run, it was always going to be tough, but didn't perform at all. And then come out next time. What's that?
Did you run it air as well?
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, and it was. Well, I think he was ridden similar to what was the Gigastown Mullins horse that won like the couple of races before.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was sort of kept out wide the whole way and just went and won easy, didn't he? And I think they thought the same thing with him. They kept him wide. Patrick was kept him wide, and I thought they were just going to go pick it up, and he just didn't perform at all. To be honest, didn't really show anything. So that made me question massively William Money. I know you've got Barry Connolly who just talk a big game, which is fair enough. He's had some really nice horses lately, but I just don't know. I think you're taking a real risk backing him, to be honest, especially at 9-2. I'd want a bit bigger, to be honest, each way. Craig de Bourbon, that's it. He was running confidently and similar to Sadie Sansa, who was ridden the same and just didn't perform. So that form's taken a big hit for me. Even his win last time out, nothing in behind, done anything, I don't think so. I do think it's Jasmine DeVoe. I mean, won the Cheltenham bumper pretty well. 13-8 in a bumper is really short for me, so I believe in her. If she goes and wins, fair enough. Romeo Coolio, like you said there, Joe, to drift out that far and still perform makes you wonder whether was there any sort of word of an issue or just something that had cooled that price off, pan the pun, coolioed that price off. So yeah, I don't know what to make of him, but I'm going to take them all on with the elder statesman in the bumper world, and I'm going to have a little each way on Redemption Day with Jodie Townend on. It's a mad little. I mean, it's a bumper in it. I'm not getting stuck in or anything like that, but I just think this horse just obviously kept him to bumpers. So I mean, I don't see the reason why they have done, but I just think at 14-1, it's a decent little each way. He's been there, done it. He's performed well at the meeting before. He should be there or thereabouts, I'd have said, and Jodie can and give him a good ride and maybe go close. But yeah, Jasmine DeVoe may well go win, but I'll just have a little each way punt on Redemption Day and see what happens. It's not a massive betting race. If you're piling into bumpers, I'd maybe rethink your strategy. But yeah, anyway, that'll do me. Right, lads, the 525 is the big one, the Punchestown Gold Cup Grade 1. Galopin Deschamps is in here, odds on favourite, fast or slow reopposes. Fantastically correct Ramblers in here after his unseat at the first at the Grand National. Yes, I tipped him up and I had him in the sweepstake at work as well, so that was a good way to finish that one. Hewitt's in here, which is great to see. Conflated, Genuine Me, Capitano, appreciate it, Gentleman's Game. Joe, let me know what your thoughts. Is it Galopin's Deschamps to win again?
Joe, mate, I've had a random tip for a horse called Fast or Slow.
Oh, not again.
It was a year ago. It was this podcast a year ago. He was 20 or 25-1, and I said that the night before. And he went 1. And by the way, it was complete fluke. I didn't back it.
I'm going to go Fast or Slow 20-1.
It was a joke.
No, I'm only joking.
But yeah, this time, you know what? I don't know what it stuck out with Galopin again. He looked well in control. I keep watching it back. Obviously it's a long way to go, and he was sort of left out in front after the second last, was it? And a horse can get lonely or whatever out in front, but he has won by lengths and lengths before, and it's never been a problem. He beat Jerry Cologne by 3 lengths, which, obviously Jerry Cologne went out and won at Aintree. But I just feel like Fast or Slow, he won at this meeting last year. He never, he tipped up at Cheltenham. He was 4 lengths behind at Leopardstown when Galopin was electric. But I just feel like at the current prices, I'm going to leave Galopin at 8-11, and I'm going to take Fast or Slow at 10-3. I think he's not a bad price. Galopin's had a long, tough season. I think he's there to be shot at. I think, to be fair, I'd love to see him go and win. But he's there to be shot at. And if I was having a bet, I'd try and take him on somewhere. And it'd probably be through Fast or Slow, because I think anything else in the race, Correct Rambler's not a bad price, but it'd be some performance to go there. Hewitt probably won't run if there's any rain. And then, Appreciating horses like that in there, not for me. I'd probably go Fast or Slow, but, not a big bet. To be totally honest, I won't be having a bet in the race. I'd just be watching Galopin, and fingers crossed he wins. But if I was to have a bet, I would have a small win on Fast or Slow. What you thinking, Rich?
Yeah, I can't have Galopin, if I'm honest with you. I mean, he's had a tough whole season. He started off, when did he start off? 2 miles 3 at Punchestown. Then he won the 2.5 miles at Leopardstown on soft. 3.5, sorry, and then 3.5 again in February. And then obviously the 3 mile, 2.5, the Gold Cup trip. So I think Lightning's going to strike twice. I think Fast or Slow probably beats him again. I just think he's had a tough all season. I think Paul mentioned after the Gold Cup that he wasn't sure how much he had left.
Yeah, I remember his
concern. I'd even have a little play on Court Rambler each way at the price. But yeah, I think Fast or Slow, unseated at the Gold Cup, but he was travelling, he was going all right. Second one after a wind up. I'd say he's fairly fresh, given off, was it fence 16, was it, or something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he beat him last year by 2.25 lengths, I think it was, on yielding, so potentially similar conditions. So I just think, yeah, I won't be touching Galloping personally. If he wins, yeah, fair play. He's probably the best horse on the planet, but I just think after watching what happened last year, I just think Fast or Slow is probably one.
Yeah, you've got to be some horse to do that twice, especially, you know, obviously unseating horses. Unseating your rider, you know, is different for horses, you know, or falling or whatever. But you know, I just think they haven't had the finish or the hard race, and you know, definitely Fast or Slow. Obviously, this season, you know, he won that 2 mile 3.5 at Punchestown when beating Galloping. Then he was an on-run at Leopardstown at Christmas. So he goes straight to the Irish Gold Cup at February. And he was only beaten 4.5 lengths. And Galloping Deschamps was electric that day. And he pulled well clear of Aya Maximus. But like you say, I just think Lightning strikes twice. The year older as well isn't a plus, is it? It's got to be a negative. Yeah, I wonder if James sticks with James. Who are you sticking with? Are you sticking with Galloping, or are you twisting and are you going with last year's winner, Fast or Slow?
I am going to. I'd stick with Galloping. I think he's by far the better horse, to be honest. I understand that he didn't back it up last time, but I just think he looks a completely different animal this year. He looks even better. Fast or Slow, he needs a big performance to reverse the form. I just can't see it, to be honest. Court Rambler again, I just think he's miles better than these. If he gets beat for whatever reason, then fair enough. But I mean, I'm not going to be backing him at odds on, but I'm not going to back against him either. So I'm happy to watch probably the best horse we currently have in training go and win again and completely what a season it's been for him. But yeah, I'll stick with him. I'm assuming you went against Rich.
Interesting. Me and Rich both went against.
Yeah, I think Lightning's going to strike twice, and I think Fast or Slow will do it.
I said it. To be fair, I won't have a bet, and if I do, it'll be a very small bet because I'm hoping to have already made my money on Dino Blue. But yeah, it won't be a race for me where I'm looking to, make money and put big money on. But I just think a year older, he's had a tough season again. As Galloping, although he was electric the last day, I don't know how much he was holding on to. He only beat, I wouldn't say only beat, but you were here when I said he beat Jerry by 3. I'd love to see him go and win because he's unbelievable. But yeah, I just think at the current prices, Fast or Slow, he's got to be a small bet if you're looking into the race.
How does he reverse the form?
What do you mean?
What's the reason behind going for Fast or Slow? What makes you think it's going to strike twice when they've both had the same route over the last couple of races?
Is that a wind up?
Fast or Slow had the wind up, but he missed the.
He's had a wind up.
He missed the December race, didn't he? Where Galloping beat Jerry. And to be fair, he won easy. But like I said to Rich, the one worry for me was, he's had his furthest race, his 3 mile 2.5 at Cheltenham. After the second last, he was there and he was open and he could have won by 15. He was about 5 lengths ahead at the last and he didn't extend away. Obviously, Rich said, and he mentioned it before after Cheltenham, he said Paul didn't know how much he was going to do. I'm not knocking him because it was an unbelievable performance. But But I just think, you come in here, what's the weather going to be like? Fast or Slow won it last year. No one would have thought he'd have even, placed that day. It was five places. Was he the outsider of the lot? Fury Road was 66s. He was the fourth outsider. What are the 1-1? No, what is it? 2-1 this season at Galopin des Champs. I know Fast or Slows was over 2 mile, 3.5, but I just don't know. I think at 8-11 and 10-3, I think I'd tend to side with Fast or Slow, albeit, like I say, I won't be having a bet.
So what we're saying is Corrit Rambler probably wins.
Hewick on heavy ground.
Honestly, I think Galopin des Champs balls up, to be honest. I don't think any of these get anywhere near him. I think they've all got so much to make up on him. It's not even funny.
What happened last year then, James?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know what happened last year, but again, this year he looks even better, is what I'm saying. I just think he's absolutely battered all these, and I just think he'll do it again. I really do. They're all backing the same race, they're all backing it up. Corrit Rambler runs in a Gold Cup, comes nowhere, runs goes through at Grand National, already tipped up, but it'll run a little bit, won't he? He's not reversing that form, backing up from a Grand National, no way. Fast or Slow battered him last time, twice. He couldn't even get around Fast or Slow, Gold Cup.
We'll see.
Hewitt needs decent ground, he's got no chance. Conflate's got no chance. Jeremy, come on. These are all arse, and I think if you're thinking, backing up last year, backing up a Gold Cup would always be a little bit tougher than backing up. What was the race that Fast or Slow?
The handicap.
Yeah, so he's running an handicap, and he's back to Gold Cup on. So no wonder it caught him a little bit. But again, Wooly Mullins will have understood what went wrong last year, and he'll have got it right this time round. I think
I can't give too much away, but the same guy who got the info off last year, he's basically said this year he's A1, he's even better.
I bet he is. I'm sure he would A1. I'm sure he would A1 the last 2 times when he's been absolutely thanked by the king. Now I'll stick with Galopin. Like I say, I'm not going to have a bet on him. It's short. His odds on favourite, but I'm more than happy to sit back and just watch him.
He got turned over at 4-11 last year.
Well, he would do because he was a Gold Cup winner taking on an handicapper, but obviously he got caught, got done for it.
Got beat by
happy days, but the last 3 runs,
he only beat Braveman's Game by a nose in third.
He won a Gold Cup by 3.5 lengths. Corrit Rambler with another 10 lengths behind. Where's Fast or Slow?
He unseated.
Oh, that's right. He couldn't get around. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but he's still got to back up from running in it. You know what I mean? So I think I don't think Fast or Slow.
He got around last year in Punchestown, didn't he?
Fast or Slow is not good enough to back up from a Gold Cup.
He didn't finish. He didn't run the Gold Cup. He ran half a Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because as soon as he unseated rider, he stopped running.
But it's pretty easy with like 11 stone off your back.
But you're still running round, aren't you? You probably run further. I don't know when
it's like going for a jog or going for a jog with someone on your back whipping you, saying, hurry up.
I can't believe you think he can reverse form. Honestly, I think he's going to batter him again. I tell you now, it'll be a possession, this.
I'll put a pint on it.
We're there. Yeah, we'll put a pint on it. Me and Rich will get you a half pint each. So we'll get you a pint, and if
Galopin wins, we'll buy you a pint each. If Fast or Slow wins, you've got to buy me and Joe a pint.
I mean, he beat him at Leopardstown 4.5 lengths easily. I don't understand how you think he can reverse that now this time. Right, it's such a year's a long time. That one's progressed massively, the other one's just not.
Would you
but
say?
Anyway, we'll soon find out.
But didn't what's it called?
You're going about him saying he didn't know how much he had left in him at the end of that goal, but that's like saying, oh, they didn't have much left at winning a Grand National. You know, he still won the race easily. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But it's if he's not, he could win by 3 lengths, win easily. It's not took much out of him. You know, we've seen it years. Everyone talks about it. How much has it took out of the horse? How much has it took out the horse? The year before, Gallopin's gone up, and I don't think Paul got the whip out. I wouldn't say Paul got serious, but he definitely had to sit on him after the last. And to me, he looked like a very, very tired 8-year-old. And Faster Slow was in behind.
Oh yeah, very tired 8-year-old that was bolting up in a Gold Cup. Come on,
thinking I'll get you at Punchestown. Don't you worry about that, big boy.
I can't believe you think wind surgery on him is going to do anything on Fast or Slow. Come on.
No, it's done nothing. It's done nothing at all. It's just going to.
Fast or Slow's an 8-year-old that's having to have a wind surgery just to get around.
Wind surgery was a Gold Cup where he didn't finish. So second run after a wind up.
History repeats itself.
It just shows you, doesn't it? Because he was that tired, he couldn't get over fences properly, so he tipped Jockey off. Said, "I've had enough of this."
I'll take Moretti, James, please.
If you think of it that way, he beat Faster Slow. He beat Galloping Deschamps at the start of the season. Then he got beat by him 4 lengths.
Over 2 mile 3. Yeah.
No, this is what I'm saying. Then got beat over 3 mile and a half a furlong by 4 lengths. Obviously, they knew that wasn't the real Faster Slow. He's miles better than that, getting beat by 4 lengths off Galloping. So they've thought, right, there's something wrong here. We need to get him in for wind surgery. He can hardly breathe, and he's been beat 4 lengths. That's not good enough for us. So they've put him in there, ready to sluice up in the Gold Cup. Unfortunately, he's enjoyed it too much and got overexcited and overjumped. He's coming to Punchestown. There's only one result.
I can't believe you're using the fact that he beat him over 2 3/4. I mean, that day at Punchestown, I tell you now, right, you go back and watch that. What's he beaten by? Basically, a length and 3/4, and everything went right for Fast or Slow, and everything went wrong for Galloping. He's jumping.
He beat him by 2 1/4 lengths. He won by.
He beat him in this last year, James.
This is a 1 3/4 lengths.
He beat him in this last year.
No, you're on the right race.
I'm on about the Punchestown race at the beginning of the season. The 2.25 mile race.
It's a nothing race.
Which Joe's using as a stick to beat me with for some reason.
Everything
went right for Fast or Slow. Everything went wrong. He was wide throughout. He was jumping sluggish. I'm telling you now, you're mental. Louis got one right here. Joe's off his head tonight. You're bang right, Louis. I ain't gonna call it last year.
I'm only going for literally. I just looked through the race and went.
Can't go for last year. It's a completely different situation.
Past winner, and I thought, it's him again. He pissed him last year, didn't he? After Galloping won the Gold Cup, and he was odds on. I'll pick him. He's a good horse.
I mean, he didn't even win it easily. They still pushed him a long way. They still pushed him all the way to the end. I'm telling you now.
Fast or Slow.
I think you're both wrong here. But anyway, we'll move on. Fenton Johnson here. Galloping wins. Correct, mate. Correct, John. You are bang right. Galloping bolts up. These two are off their rockers. These two flat boys. Are you going to be on Flat Show Thursday, Rich? No, you're not. Get it off. Get it off now. Here we go. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Right. This is the James Woods podcast. No more of that talk. Joe's disconnected. I brought you back, Joe. Right, we're going to talk. You got anything to say about the 6 o'clock, Rich?
If I'm honest with you, it was one that I've not got a strong opinion on. I did pick Union Park, but my reasonings are very, very weak. So,
right, we'll leave it at that. Then we'll have a quick talk about the 2 races on the Thursday. Obviously, Gaelic Warrior is going to come out 1 to 3 on. Anything to really say about that? He's surely absolutely demolishes Blood Destiny, Mr. Policeman, Elite, Tom, etc., etc.
Yeah, is this the Castle Novices? Yeah, 525. Yeah, Gaelic should absolutely win this. He finally won at Cheltenham. Very impressive. Yeah, probably didn't beat a lot, but he beat it very well. Yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes next year. Will he go for the Champion Chase? Will he aim for the Gold Cup? I don't know.
Who's this, Fast or Slow?
I'm just waiting for you to tell me that Gaelic Warrior gets beat next. You fancy Gaelic Warrior, Joe?
No,
Gaelic Warrior, Galloping Deschamps, double, GSI.
Oh, see, look at that, mate. You may as well go to the casino, Fenton, and just go and spin, because you're getting even money. No, Gaelic Warrior, mate.
Yeah, but you get an even money shot that's a guarantee winner.
maybe. Yeah. No, but he's
Always bet responsibly.
Yeah, he's very good, isn't he? He was very impressive at Cheltenham.
I'm surprised he hadn't just stood him in Championship. Go on, Joe. Sorry, carry on.
To be fair, you glitched. I didn't. What did you say there? Did he?
So I'm surprised he didn't just chuck him in that Championship earlier in weeks. He probably wins that. With Dino Blue and that, he'd win this, I think. But they'll set the win anyway at 1-3.
Yeah. I can't see anything else, mate. He was well impressive. He's about £8-9 ahead of everything else in the race. Nice break since Cheltenham. He just wins, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he does win. I think it'll be a bit of a procession race. He's going back right-handed, which will suit him. There's nothing going to get anywhere near him. I think Gaelic Warriors probably right up there in terms of the champion chase for Cheltenham. He'll surely be targeted at that next season. Because right now, there's not really much. It's
going to be a Gaelic Warrior thing to do, though, isn't it? To just start messing around. You want a 3. He's backed up his runs all season, and then he'll just start massively jumping out with the right or the left. He'll do something.
The crazy thing with Gaelic Warriors, he could literally be targeted at the Champion Chase, the Ryanair, or the Gold Cup. It could go any of them, couldn't he? So,
yeah,
you're going to try and guess Willie Mullins' ring. But for me, there's not, unless he brings an Ergamine back, what else is there really for Champion Chase? El Fabiolo's obviously been beat. I won't really trust El Fabiolo anywhere, shape or form at the moment. His jumping's obviously terrible, and he was battered by John Bon. So we'll see what happens next season. Right, in the last race we're going to talk about, and you can mention anything else, but this is obviously a really interesting race. It's the Champion Stayers Hurdle, and we currently do have Teahupoo in at Evans' favourite, Irish Point at 4-1, home by the lead, Buddy 1, Cider Bailey, etc., etc. A couple of rogues in here, Steering Fallonge, Monkfish, Sir Gerhard's obviously put in here, but whether he'll run, I don't know. But yeah, Teahupoo versus Irish Point. You'd like to think both would be going here, since none of them turned up at Aintree. So, one question to you both: who does Jack ride if they both go, and who do you think wins?
In my opinion, I would side with Irish Point just for the fact of Teahupoo likes to be fresh. It was obvious that was always the case, not going to DRF or anything, and be getting kept from the 3rd of December till Cheltenham. After running at Cheltenham, running 49 days for a normal horse is a decent break. It'd have been what would have been a month or something for DRF, and they weren't happy with that. They wanted longer. This is 49 days, not much longer really. I would say Irish Point had a hard race, but it was 2 mile, ran a decent race to finish less than 2 lengths away from State Man. Basically, whoever Jack chooses, is even money 6-4, and the other one's 3-1, because it's, in my opinion anyway, it's between them two. But I'd side with Irish Point at 4-1 at the minute, but plain and simply because it's not Teahupoo's main target, and I feel like Teahupoo needs to be fresh, or is a lot better fresh.
Yeah, to be fair, Irish Point is also entered in the Irish Champion Hurdle later on in the week, so he could well go there. He's 4-1 for that, obviously behind State Man. Lost him out in there, so the question will be, will they split him up? But for me, I do think Teahupoo wins. I think he's a lot better horse this year. I know that obviously they wanted him they just wanted him as fresh as possible for Cheltenham. I do think they don't mind running him. 49 days is a decent break. I thought that it's enough to get him right for that. I want to say it was the hardest Stayers Hurdle to win, so he's obviously gone and won it well enough. He's an Evans favourite. I won't be steaming in at Evans. It's just one of them, innit? It's hard to get some of these betting. They're not really betting races, are they? Unless you're just going to take them on at each way prices. But I love Teahupoo for the Stayers Hurdle at Cheltenham. I was on him at a big price. I loved watching him win. He was kept really fresh for that. I don't think he'll be too bad here. I think he's the best stayer in this division. I think he takes all the beating, to be honest. I think, obviously, Irish Point, if he were to turn up here, but I think he'll probably go the Champion Hurdle potentially, but we shall see. But he should batter the rest of this field, and I think he will do, to be honest. So, yeah, Teahupoo for me. Rich?
He's probably the best one in the race, but I'm getting similar vibes to the Galloping scenario. I mean, he came off the back of Cheltenham. Yeah, he obviously didn't win the Stayers last year, but he was rallying at the end. But I mean, he finished fourth in this last year off the back of Cheltenham, which would be a slight worry. A bit like Joe said, he's best fresh. Is this going to be a long enough break? I don't know. I mean, Cider Burley beat him. Asteria Forlonge beat him in this last year in Classical Dream. He's probably a better horse this year, so he probably can do it and win off the back of Cheltenham. But I mean, he's 5 to 6 on. I think he's no way of a backable price. I'd rather take a punt each way on like a Monkfish, something like that.
Did he not like? I'm sure he bled it in the Gold Cup or something.
Yeah, I think he did. But if he was all right at Aintree. But I think reverting to hurdles. I mean, yeah, he finished fourth at Aintree. He still looked fairly decent, half decent. And like you say, Cider Burley won the Stayers when he was like 12 or something daft. So, yeah, Teahupoo probably does win, but he's not a backable price, and he bombed out in this last year. Is he going to be fresh enough? I don't know. So Monkfish is an each-way player. I'd probably have a little small dollar on.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Teahupoo, but the other thing I will say is obviously last season they didn't keep him as fresh for Cheltenham as they did this year. He obviously had that run. What was the race? There was a race I've got it here. The Galmoy, running him in the Galmoy, didn't he, on heavy ground? He won that, then just got caught in the Cheltenham, then bombed out at Punchestown. I do think this time round, obviously, won the Atton's Grace, been kept stupidly fresh for Cheltenham. So he's got to be a little bit fresher this time round. I do think I think you're right there, though. It's not really a backable price. I'll probably have a little bit of an accumulator for the week and just go through a few of these favourites. But
maybe doubling with Dino Blue.
Yeah, I mean, Dino Blue is probably the better of the week, isn't she? I think she goes and wins pretty well. So, yeah, I'd maybe put a Teahupoo in there. Galloping Deschamps, that's the treble right there. Boom. Easy money, folks. Easy money, baby. Right. Well, that's it, lads, for days 1 to 3 of the Punchestown Festival. Thank you, everyone who's tuned in. Obviously, we are going to be back. Well, 2 of us will be back on Thursday night.
Anything else?
Sorry, mate. Go on. You've got anything else you'd like to mention? If I've got anything else, I'll put it up in my Telegram group. So if you're not in there,
I've got a few, actually. Yeah.
Well, here we go. Follow through.
Do you want me to start at Ascot on the Wednesday?
Oh, sorry, mate. You wanted to cover a couple of group races, didn't you? My fault, mate. Do you want to just cover them real quick? The two group races at Ascot on Wednesday.
I mean, I don't know if you've looked at them, Joe, have you?
Yeah.
So the 2:15
I'll see it a bit.
Yeah, see it a bit. The 2:15 at Ascot, the Cigaro Stakes of 1 mile 7. You've got like Coltrane, Trushan is in here, Quickthorn, Sweet William. Which way have you gone, Joe? Have you landed on something?
Yeah, it's tough, mate. To be totally honest, Coltrane, looking through his form on soft heavy isn't great. I would normally, I am siding with Trushan, but obviously carries a penalty. He's carrying quite a big penalty. And my only worry is, do you remember him last year in the Sweet William race where he didn't settle and he ended up going out and he sort of got away with it that day? To be fair, I'm hoping the way I'm looking into it is Quickthorn will go off like the clappers, give Trushan a bit of a lead, try and settle, and them two will sort of have it their own way. I can't have Coltrane, in my opinion, and I think, well, he did. He ran a stinker in Maidan. His last 2 runs in England, he finished 5th out of 8 and 5th out of 5th. His 1 run before that where he won at York was on good to firm, and apart, he's only really won on good to soft, good to soft, good. His soft ground runs come few and far between, and they're not great. Sweet Williams, probably the improver, 5-year-old now. I thought he was coming to win the race against Trushan. His head went all over. He was on the rail, and that was his race over. I'm going to side with Trushan, mate. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm going to side with Trushan. 8-year-old, will love the ground, love the conditions. Probably the only horse in here who will relish the conditions. 3 to 1. I'll probably have a little bit. What about yourself?
First one for a wind up as well. Is that a wind up?
Yeah.
It's a very close race. I mean, looking at the betting on Sky, you've got Coltrane 5-2. I can't have. He's got no form on soft or heavy. He won it last year, but this looks a bit of a tougher test given the conditions. Then you've got Trushan, Quickthorn, Sweet William, all at 3-1. I mean, out of all of them, I would be swaying towards Sweet William. Negative is Haviland's on board. However, they're going for the blinkers to sharpen up a bit. I think that'll be positive. He was second to Trushan over 2 miles 1. That was off level weights. He was second by 1 1/4 length. He's now getting £7 from Trushan, which I just think that's going to be too much for Trushan to try and overcome. Like you say, Quickthorn will probably go off in front. Will he be fitting off 250 days? That's the question. I remember when Tom Marquand just went off like the clappers and everybody just let him go. I can't see that happening. I quite like Sweet William. I think he's a 5-year-old. I think he's the up-and-comer. He's a bit quirky, and I quite like that. I mean, he finished second in the E-board, 1 mile 5. He was third on Champions Day to Trawlerman. I mean, Kyprios and Trawlerman pulled away pretty convincingly that day, but Trushan was behind him that day, and he gets £7. I'd just take a dabble on Sweet William, I think, for this one.
Yeah, it is. That's the one thing, isn't it? They're all roughly 3-1 apart from the David Manu with Jamie Spencer horse. But yeah, I tell you what, if you pick the winner, well, you've done well, haven't you?
Very well. Right, the 250, the Commonwealth Cup Trial, 6 furlongs. What are your thoughts? This is very tricky.
Yeah, it is very tricky. They're all coming off a pretty big break, aren't they? I looked roughly through it. I do quite like Starlust, but it's the weather, it's the ground. The one I probably would go for is that Persognu.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, 4-1 favourite, quite a big-ish price favourite. I was there for its win at York in the listed race. I was keen on it that day, and to be fair, it's seen the trip out well. The step up 2-6, but what was a neck behind Big Evs on soft ground at Goodwood. That's pretty good form. I just think 6 furlongs soft, a year older. Balding's not in horrendous form. Ocean Murphy's currently operating at 23%. It's pretty decent. That is one thing I probably would look at, especially for your 3-year-olds or your first time out for this season. Have a look for what trainers are in form, because there's nothing worse at the start of the season if you fancy your form, but the trainer's got 0% in the last 2 weeks or something. Maybe one other horse I would have a little look at is Got to Love a Grey. Won in Shanty on heavy ground, beating Classic Flower in a listed race. That was heavy ground. Then Shanty again didn't back that form up, got overturned by Classic Flower. Only beaten 4 lengths, albeit in 6th. That was on very soft ground again. Won at York on good to firm. Ran a great race at Ascot in the Queen Mary, 5th. That was on good ground. So it was pretty similar. Pretty, used to the soft ground. 12-1. Carl Burke is in flying form. 28%. That's one I probably would look at as well at an each way price.
That's what I've gone for. Got to Love a Grey. Like you say, one on heavy soft ground at Chantilly. Kind of bombed out 16 days ago, but I forgive him one bad run. We were there when he won at York last year in the Dante meeting.
Yeah, we were.
Very well enlisted contest. Steps up to 6 furlongs, shouldn't be too much of an issue. 5th in the Queen Mary at Ascot. Yeah, I think you say each way sort of price. Carl Burke, I think, is around 28% over the last 14 days for his runners. So he's probably the each way shot. It's quite interesting that is it Clifford Lee normally rides for him?
Yeah,
I think he's heading to Pontefract. So Louis
Jam.
Jam takes the ride, which is quite interesting. Could be a big opportunity for him. So very tricky race, but I think as a filly she gets a bit of weight as well, which might help. So I'm going to take a little each way punt on Got to Love a Grey, I think.
Who's the horse of Ponty? Because that's a pretty big point of that, by the way.
It's I I will tell you. I've got it up. It's a newcomer. Where is it? Invincible Anise. 2-year-old filly runs at Pontefract.
What time is it?
Before, but yeah, quite interesting.
What time is it? The 2:40.
Second race, I think.
Yeah, 2:40. Very interesting, mate. I think I might have a go on that then, because for Clifford Lee to come to Pontefract,
it's a lovely place.
Instead of that, it is a lovely place, but you've got to take note of them type of jockey bookings, etc., don't you?
Did you have anything else for Punchestown?
No, I didn't, mate. Did you?
I've got a few. I'll quickly go through.
James is back.
I've got one.
James. You missed you missed the flat talk.
You got anything else for Punchestown? Let's leave that there.
Was that when he won at Punchestown last year? Is that where that photo's from?
Get in, Rich.
When his second goal.
Oh, different course, is it? Different course. Never mind.
So that's the Slow's going to back it off. You know what? I'm not even going to argue here. I'll revel in it when he wins.
Yeah, so Wednesday Punchestown 3:40. There's no flies on him. He's running. I think Joe quite liked him at one point, and then he flopped last time out of a 2 miles fall and heavy. But if the ground isn't too bad, potentially he could come back to form. That's quite interesting, that one. Thursday Punchestown again in the 3:40. There's a horse for JP called Nara. I think that could be quite well handicapped. Runs off a mark of 1:21. Finished 7th, I think, in the Boodles, but there was a lot of higher rated horses than her currently. So there could be some giving the mark. And then Thursday, 6:35, Chapeau de Soleil, is it? I think runs.
Yeah.
Won the last time out. I'm sure the yard said during its bumper campaign that they thought this was a group horse, but he's yet to reach those sort of heights. Potentially, I think he could go close on Thursday. So that's all I've got for you. James, anything else?
No, mate. I'm happy with all that. I think it's a decent week of racing. Like I say, I'll probably put a few selections out, a few official selections, and obviously Pontefract on Wednesday. I'll be getting stuck into that, and then I'm heading towards the weekend. But no, I'm happy with that, mate.
If you're listening, I'll give you a Pontefract winner.
I know, mate. Don't worry, I've got that one in my back pocket. I'll once I've gone through Ponty myself, I'll decide whether it's a decent bet or not. Like you say, it's always interesting.
Bookies to get it backed.
You what?
Joe's just ran to bookies to get it backed.
No, I've got a private bookie that I messaged you, puts my bets on for me, haven't I?
Have you?
Yeah, his name's Richard Long. Oh no, but yeah, honestly.
Wait, can you do me one, Rich? I think I might be able to get £1,000 together. Just put it on fast or slow, mate, please.
Can you send me 3 months bank statements, please, Joe?
all I'm saying is I'm expecting you both to post up on Twitter that you've backed fast or slow for at least a tenner. Put your money where your mouth is. I want to see it online. I don't want to,
plus a pint, yes. Are we saying a plus a pint? Yeah.
Tenner plus a pint, and am I backing odds on fucking galloping? Oh.
You've got to back 20 because it's galloping and it's odds on.
Yeah.
Am I putting 3 pints on your? I'm putting 3 pints on your putting one. Is that what it is? Oh, but no, it'll be a good week. Hopefully, everyone enjoys it and the jumps can sort of wind down and we'll finish on a bang. Like I say, thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully you're all subscribing if you are watching. Quite a lot of people watching, so please do subscribe. Help us get to the next sort of subscriber goal, and then we're going to keep improving and keep growing. So hopefully that'll all carry on. We're back on Thursday, obviously the big flat kickoff, and the rest of Punchestown. So hopefully you'll all join us for that. Any last words, lads?
No, it's been good. Good week. Good week of racing.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll see you again, Rich. Is that it? No. Then you're packing it in.
I'll be about. Don't you worry, I'll be about.
You send me some videos and I'll think about whether I'm going to put them up or not, but we'll hopefully have a decent show.
Depends if you want winners or not, doesn't it?
Well, you've picked one loser this week, so I know that one already anyway.
I got the Guineas winning last year, don't you forget?
You did get the Guineas winner, so you have to make sure you do a decent preview for that and I'll stick it up.
Yeah, no pressure.
And we'll go from there. But yeah, the Guineas weekend, big flat kickoff on Thursday. We'll see you all then. Have a great week, guys. Bet responsibly, as I always say. Enjoy the racing. like I say, Punchestown can throw up a few odd results, so don't go steaming into, but have a few beers and enjoy it, and we'll have a cracking week. So yeah, see you all on Thursday, guys. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye bye.